I have to admit that I am so excited for spring to be here, and make sure you click like if you are too. So in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to indulge in your inner artiste, as I like to call it, and create these super easy watercolor roses. And they might look difficult to achieve, but trust me, girlfriend, they ain't. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so starting out with fresh, clean claws in my case, I'm just going to begin by making my Rue Beauty nail strips from Rue 21 magically appear out of thin air into my hands because I'm just good like that, okay? And they come with 10 nail strips and this handy dandy nail file, and I'm just going to begin applying the polka dotted ones first, and you just peel these babies off and place them on your nail very carefully, and they're really sticky, so you don't want to stick them to your fingers because I don't really think that'd look very good. So after sticking them on, I just folded them over and I filed the remaining part off, and you just tear it right off. It's very, very easy.
But I'm singing like a fool 'cause you're as sweet as a banana split.
So next I just repeated the same steps on the rest of my nails, and for my pinky finger I decided to use the floral print just to add a little extra springiness. You gotta love the flowers and all the floral. I just don't really love the pollen very much, and the pollen is very, very strong right now, and it makes me sneeze a lot. Thumbs up if you have allergies too. I know that I do. Also, be sure to apply a base coat to the nails that you're going to be polishing later on, because you do not want them things to be all yelly. You do not want your nails to be all yellow and nasty when you take your nail polish off, girl. Yay! So we're done with the nail strips, and next I'm just going to begin polishing my nails with 4 different colored pastel base coats. First is yellow, which reminds me of pollen. Dun dun dun. Okay, not really. It just reminds me of the sun. And next is green, which reminds me of the green grass. Next is a pastel purple, which reminds me of purple violets and flowers and all of that really pretty stuff. And last is blue, which reminds me of the beautiful blue springy sky. You can use whatever colors you prefer for this, but I just think that these colors just like scream spring. They're just like spring! That sounded really scary. So to create the roses, I'm using a dotting tool in a pastel pink and making round-ish blotches on my nails. And you don't want the blotches to be perfectly round circles because, I mean, have you ever really seen a perfectly round rose before? Probably not. So if you don't have a dotting tool, you can always use the round wooden tip of a makeup brush, paintbrush, or you can use the actual nail polish brush. You just have to be extra careful not to smudge it or mess it up. So you can make your flowers as big or as little as you want, but I recommend this size because we still need to add the leaves on each side. So to make the leaves, I'm carefully creating long and lanky green triangles with my darker green nail polish, and I know this can be a very tedious process, but don't think your leaves have to look perfect. Imperfection is what makes art look more realistic, is what I like to think anyway. Plus it makes me feel better to say that when I kind of mess things up. So you want to make sure that your leaves are going in different directions, and this will also give them a more realistic touch.
But you are crazy glue, my darling, and I'm stuck to you, but I'm cozy and I don't wanna wiggle loose. You're honey like a finger in the beehive, the bees are buzzing and tizzy.
After finishing the leaves, it's time to start giving the roses a more defined watercolor look. So while the pink roses are still tacky, I'm using a white nail polish and a thinner dotting tool, and I'm going to begin making white swirls in the tacky polish. And this is one of the easiest parts of this tutorial, and not to mention a lot of fun. Again, if you don't own a dotting tool, I recommend using a toothpick for this part. And just be careful not to make deep indentions with your swirls, because this can result in a really disturbing and messed up appearance. And that's just putting it nicely. Also, if you have a thinner makeup or paintbrush tip, just use that if all else fails. So next, to give the roses a little definition, I'm using the pastel green polish and making bright shadow lines on each leaf to make them look a little more realistic, and the lighter shade of green also just ties all of the colors of the designs together, and it just makes everything look extra springy and pretty and bright. Yeah. I never knew. When you're finish with your designs, make sure that they are almost completely dry before applying your top coat. You don't want a giant smear of a design when you're done, and this has happened to me before, and it is very devastating. So after, you just want to apply your top coat and let it dry, and guess what? We're finished. So that is all for this fun springy rose nail tutorial, and let me know in the comments below what spring tutorials you'd like for me to do next, and also click like and favorite if you love spring as much as I do. And I thank you all so much for watching, and have a glitterful day.
Orbit. There's no magnet that was in your heart. The one restriction was the friction that was keeping us a little too far apart. Why fight it? I was secretly delighted. I gave chase and then I let you win.